Right. Yeah. Live chat. Okay, so I need to fix exiting of synchronous window. Finish task. Dependent tasks. Task that should be aborted before this window is destructed. Task counter is the number of running tasks that we should wait for before this window is destructed. Isn't that the same thing? I'm cold. Where's my warmer? Put on. Right. Access by task depends on objects of this class or derived classes. Yeah, what is it? When is it being used? Public. pipeline factory adds itself. But that's to the application. Do I have more of these things? Application. Yeah. And then the synchronous window also has that. Yeah, but application. No, maybe it's me, but I don't see anything that's using this. What happens if I comment it out? Oh. Abort. Impossible that it still compiles, but I couldn't find it. Probably didn't look very well, man. Line 62. Oh, there it is. Oh, what? No. It's just a constructor. Okay, it's abort all is being called on it, but if nothing was added. Independent tasks. Abort all. Yeah, okay, so basically it's not being used. What does dependent mean? Guess I'll leave it in, but strange. And the other thing, task count. Number of running tasks that we should wait for before there's a window. So we don't abort them, we just wait till they are finished. I guess that's the difference. Owning factory, owning window, and task counter gate, increment, decrement. Task counter gate, number of running tasks. We should wait for before this window is destructed. Yeah, and that's the waiting where we do cache and copy data to GPU, increment and decrement. Okay. The constructor no less. I guess the other one is the destructor. Yeah, okay. Does that look here the same? Nope, that's in the initialized implementation. And then the finish implementation. Where did I come from? Boom, 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 boom. The tasks. Yeah, and this then means set have synchronous tasks. Probably it's just unset that thing. It sets it again if the main loop returns true. And I would think that if that happens, then we have to call this again. And then still everything is just a race condition. I think it's kind of silly, bit silly. But yeah, why this is not a while loop? Nobody knows. Oh, this is just this is just a single call to get them to abort. So if I do the while, then it's going to just run normally. The idea is that if this calls abort on one of those tasks, one of the asynchronous tasks, running tasks, block calls, task insert. Yeah, might need to be if anyway. but that means that we call main loop only once and then on an aborted task. And that should do absolutely everything, right? Let's see what that does. Functie items verder monitor our task left. Hello, Willy. Sorry, but if I call main loop, then guessing that what you could get here. Not sleep. Insert multiplex. Still running in this engine. It's not active. Face. It's all magic. Just gonna look at what insert multiplex does as a normal run while being aborted. What is this? Central task. Oh, like that. Okay, and now we get multiplex. gonna assume that that will be run. Well, that means that just the board implementation is run. It's called. And then I don't get it anymore. It's code I wrote years ago, I think, so it should just work. But I cannot remember anymore if calling single multiplex a single time is enough. But I guess it is. I don't know. So this just allows tasks to abort, but some are not aborted. And most notably, I do not have any dependent tasks. Maybe I should have it. Maybe I should have it. Isn't every task that incremented task counter dependent as well. Sure. Task counter gate. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, it's all nice and trendy, but it seems that I need to remember which tasks exactly did increment this. Or well, that would be one way. It kind of would be one way, but what if I do not do this, but I just move all synchronous tasks? I make all synchronous tasks asynchronous. I mean, I don't even have the window anymore. We don't have a render loop. It kind of makes sense. So instead of doing this, I want to make all synchronous tasks asynchronous. And then I can just wait on them. Challenge. This is a synchronous window, which means it is derived from synchronous engine, which means that I guess we just have to go into the AI engine and get into that code again, though I don't know anymore how it works, fortunately. This should have a list of all the tasks. Here's a queue element that has a pointer to a task, and that could be it. Queue element constructor, getting the AI stateful task back from it. Just types. No way to add it to the engine. Flush all tasks, all queued tasks are removed from the engine and marked as killed. It can be used when terminating a program just prior to destructing all remaining objects. Avoid tasks to call fallbacks. Yeah, that would be nice, but this one has to be this must continue running. I cannot call flush. I think that I have to look at this add and then see where exactly it's being stored. Add a stateful task that does the following thing. It locks the engine and then it puts it in this list. And then it wakes up the engine if needed. What do you think? Do here is okay, so I need to add a function, I think, that also locks the engine and then removes everything from the list, all the tasks, and then adds them to another handler. But how? I think normally only an engine itself can do that. Sorry, only task itself can do that. Let me think about this. How do I switch the handler? No idea. Let's try to figure that out again. Wait, I did write some documentation. Maybe it is, maybe I have it documented. Let's make this window a little bit smaller. What the hell? And then I go to well, my homepage first, I guess. Homepage. And then I add here slash stateful task. Yeah, it seems so. I really cannot read anymore with my right eye. It's horrible. It's completely fucked up again. This is not about writing a task, it's about... Yeah, I don't think I documented this. states, about set states, yielding, about yield of course, avoiding, and nothing really. Nope, no good documentation about this. I think it is yield. Yield, yes. Yield switches to a different, can switch to a different handler. Target. You can yield to a different handler. You can also call target maybe. Continue running from an engine. No, I don't want to. I want to go away from the engine. The task will keep running in this engine until target is called again. Call target handler idle to return to running freely. The default engine etc. one was given. The required engine or thread pool queue to run in. Or thread pool queue. So we can explicitly set the target here to a thread pool, and then that should work. And this is the above two combined, which means that yield to give CPU to other tasks, but do not block. Makes it return from a main loop. And it should just call target, I think. On all of it. Right. I don't know. I would in the end call this still don't know if that thing is public or not. Got the feeling it's protected. Yeah, it's protected. So that is not working then. I need a way to get access to all these tasks. I could allow me, maybe just the only thing I can do is maybe send it a signal. That would be very, very, no, I don't want to do that. Actually, man, it is so difficult to do this. The point is, it's not that much different from main loop. And I can just run main loop whenever I want. Here's main loop. Should be able to do it from main loop safely, but then I need access to a protected member of all my tasks, which is not supported. That is, I suppose I could make the engine a friend. Yeah. That's what I can do. Okay, let's add even documentation. Switch all tasks to a different target. Run this as when running. Nah. No idea if this is correct, but let's try it. Is it the same signature? Handler, yeah. So I think we must mimic running main loop here, which means that log engine, is there anything to do? Well, yes, there's all of them must run. So I don't really care about the end. I care more about what happens below here. I don't care about durations either. Might have or might not have a max duration. Therefore, I just want to call insert multiplex. Insert multiplex. Yeah, so basically you don't have to do anything. At least it's just calling insert multiplex without doing anything. Then what is this doing? What is stateful task anyway? Oh shit, yeah, that too. The task is not running, it doesn't even know. The engine doesn't know. So that is not possible. That is not possible. No, I'll have to make a list of all these engines and of all the tasks that are running in all these synchronous tasks separately. Wait. Yeah, yeah. Fatman, well, I don't understand. I never use Windows, so I cannot help. And is that not something that ChatGTP can do? I could imagine that it can. So write the C++ program that, well, maybe not ChatGTP, but then at least the GitHub thing. Don't give up. Multiple people have succeeded in opening a window. Just find the right tutorial. All else fails, I would say start from scratch, as in start a new little test program. That opens a window, and then just type that over from some tutorial. So you have at least a working program that opens a window, and then you can start comparing it with whatever you have now. That doesn't work. Okay, I think I'm going to add to this class maybe. So let's add a running task tracker next to the m-dependent tasks. No, wait. Task counter thing. I wish I could just... Wait, I can. Can I? Wait. Git diff. Yeah, at least we have a small git diff. So I can do some work without getting lost. So I want to add a running tasks thing. It is part of stateful task. Well, in that case, I'll just have to make it separately. Getting tired of this. Task H. I'm gonna add a switch target here. So I can call for each on that with a lambda, and that is then thread safe calling it with a pointer to each task. M tasks. Now let's make that Yeah, we're not a friend. This lambda is not a friend. Or would it be a friend because it is part of running tasks tracker? I guess I'll have to find out. No, pass handler is, what is the size of handler? Handler is pointer size plus a type. Yeah, well, whatever. Let's pass it as a reference. I mean, capture a reference. And then, yeah, and that might not work then because target is private. Can never work because I mean it should be run from so the handler is not immediate. No. It's just setting the target handler differently, but then for the rest nothing. You must be in the middle of multiplex, otherwise this is not going to work. Yeah, and here another thing, during debugging. So this is going to assert if I do it like this. I have to call this somehow from multiplex function, or it is not allowed and not working. nothing works. No, 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 and no. Is there a timed wait, maybe, for condition variable? Condition variable. Wait until maybe. Duration. Block SQL thread until the condition variable is working or until specified time point has been reached. I guess I need to wait for. Wait for lock chrono duration. How about I use that one? Halil is, yeah, thanks post. Wait until closes the current thread block until condition variable is notified or specific time is reached or spurious wake up occurs, optionally looping until some predicate is satisfied. And that is what I need. Yeah, let's not add this. Let's this is part of stateful task. Yeah. No, okay. So I don't know. Duration. It's a fucking template. God, I hate that. Yeah, just pass time in milliseconds, I think. Signed integer type. I'll use a long, I guess. Already returns a bool. Return value. False if the predicate stop waiting still evaluates to false. Timeout. Ooh, standard CV status timeout. What is it? What's that? If the relative timeout specified by rel time expired. That is 1. 1, 1. Okay, but I'm passing a predicate, so we have 2. False over the predicate stop waiting still evaluates to false after rel time timeout expired. Otherwise true. Wait. I want to call wait for a lot of times. What does is meaning mean? Do is waiting. Counter and not waiting magic. Okay, so if we reset this, then you cannot call wait anymore. And new tasks abort themselves when they try to add itself. Seems about right. Hello. You did. Yeah. Yeah. It's quite a lot. Just keep typing every day. So now I can do wait for 10 milliseconds. Now let's make this an infinite loop so I can see my flute happening. So the difference here is now that if now my bug occurs, sitting in the dark again, can't see my quotes, double quotes. Now my bug occurs that it's going to print this 100 times per second. Maybe I should wait 100 milliseconds. Now I think about it. This is 10 times a second. Okay, let's see if we can reproduce the bug and get this output flute. You have to run just TT, I think. Oh, now what? Now what? Let's hope it's this patch, but it shouldn't be. Well, that's the next step then, Fat Man. Really, coding is not fast. You have to do everything step by step. Because now you have a working program, so now go back to your program that doesn't work, and then compare the code of lines, you know, and then if you don't understand it, you start removing changes one by one until you find something that that was it, and then you will understand probably, and then you will be like, oh, that was it. Can take a week, can take a day, can take an hour, you never know. Well, it was this patch. Unicode. Well, I think we already have it right there. It doesn't close. Unicode is non-ASCII. In most cases, although I'm not sure of Windows, but in Linux certainly it's UTF-8. Meaning that you have characters that start with a bit, what is it? the most significant bits being set. And then multiple bytes might be used to encode a single character. So ASCII is only 0 till 127. And then anything above 127 in one char, one byte, is God knows what, depending on the context. So Windows uses all kinds of code pages. Sometimes they fill it with this, and then they fill it with that, and then when the number of code pages became too big, they invented Unicode, which is able to just encode anything by using more than 1 byte. But then, of course, you cannot treat every you cannot treat every byte as a character anymore, because sometimes you need to use 2 or 3 or 4 bytes for a single character. Well, it's not that hard. Look up what is ASCII, and then look up what is code page. I don't know what code pages they had. Let me see if that's true. If you look up code page, you get what I meant. Code page. Character encoding. Oh yeah. I'm not 100% sure. You see even Chinese here. That seems to be a little bit too much. I thought that it was still everything fit in one character. So 1 character per byte. All those code pages. Here's an example. So the top is ASCII, and then the bottom thing that you see there with all the wiggly things on top of it, and accents and carrots, or what is it called, and stuff. That's then a certain code page, so it allows you to print 128 extra characters, all within a single byte. But other code pages, they have different characters, and they don't all fit into one thing. So Unicode is something else. It is just an encoding where if you use, UTF-8, I should say, because you have different encodings even for that. But UTF-8 would use a single byte for ASCII, and it's backwards compatible. So if your byte code is less than 128, it's just ASCII. And if the most significant bit is set, so if it is 128 or higher till 255, what fits in a byte, then it's actually an UTF-8 encoding, which means that you might that it might be using multiple bytes for a single character. And that way you can get encode in UTF-8 ASCII 1-on-1, but any other character in the world as well, possibly using more than 1 byte. And then you have UTF-16 and UTF-32, which just means that you have to, UTF-16, for example, it just takes 2 bytes to begin with. So if you just want an ASCII A, you're gonna need 16 bits anyway, because that's the minimum. And the slight advantage is that then, so let's say if you do Chinese, then it would not make much sense to use UTF-8 because yeah, you need so many characters that most of your characters then would be 2 bytes, and because that encoding, the type of encoding of UTF-8 needs extra space, often you will need 3 bytes. So then you're better off using UTF-16, which means that you never use a single byte, but you can more efficiently put all the Chinese characters, or at least the most used Chinese characters, in 16 bits. And if then you want characters that are do not even fit in those 16 bits, then you need more. But there's also an encoding for that. I guess that UTF-16 is just, you know, if the most significant bit is not set, it's just a direct table again of stuff, hopefully including a lot of often used Chinese characters for the Chinese people. And then if the first bit is set, then you need more than 16 bits to get the rest. And on, yeah, it's a graphics engine based on Vulkan. I'm kind of surprised that even without triggering my debugger pop-up, it already printed this, which pretty much sounds like a deadlock, or am I wrong here? I think I'm wrong, actually. I'm totally wrong. Of course I'm wrong. This is an infinite loop, period. I'm an idiot. Okay, make C tags. Should have leave the loop when the counter is equal to 0, obviously. Yeah, so let's do it instead while. So that returns true. I think you have to stop. Contrary to what I coded now. My wait for is doing the following. Wait for returns true if the counter is 0. Yeah, then we have to stop. So let's make this a not. Yeah, normally if I close the window, it just closes the window and stops the program. I have to do something special. I have to run it a few times, and then at some point the problem occurs. So I think now I just close it. No problem. Okay, now I try that a few times. Now my debugger pops up, and then I do I just do continue, I think, or what did I do? Doesn't matter, I suppose. I can do continue here. I set breakpoint. Where the hell does a breakpoint come? Oh no! Set no. Why the hell do I have this LV in it? Good enough. Continue. Now we have the bug. So now you see that it loops there. And then I can do Control C here. Everything should stop if you press it a few times at least. So now I can do here call main loop. Wait for a certain task to be finished while giving CPU to possibly still running synchronous tasks. Poo-poo. Okay, so main loop is AI engine main loop. Wait, that does return here? Maybe true. And in which case I should continue running as a guess. Function returns whether or not a task left that needs CPU, either because they did yield or because duration was reached. So I just need to it returns exclusively fuzzy was false because the instant function return engine unlocked new task again. It doesn't explain to me clearly enough. Okay, true if there are remaining tasks. Why didn't you say so? So I'm just going to do while main loop continue running as well. I'm not sure because it returns a fuzzy boolean. I think I can convert a fuzzy boolean directly to a boolean. I have an operator bool somewhere here, and that then just only use this when the value is certain. Yeah, well, the true is certain, but the fuzzy is not. The false is not. So I need return true, and true, that would be good enough. This is true. I mean, it only returns was true. Wait, what the hell is this? I know what was true was. No, was true is sorry. Was true is not. Was true is fuzzy. True is not fuzzy. And I was going to return just true. So this one is good enough in this case. Else var, because I'm designing the next thing. Now Vulkan is a successor of OpenGL to begin with. It's faster, but it's too difficult to use. So people will have to rely on using Vulkan engines. Nobody wants to code a game in Vulkan directly, I think. But who is going to write the engine? Well, other people, certain people like me. Now, I do not think that my engine is going to be used by people. But fortunately, there are freaks like me, and I'm definitely not the only one, who just like doing something difficult, like coding a Vulkan engine. And then someday you can use a Vulkan engine for your games, and that will be faster than OpenGL. I run it again, and now I stop it, and again. And so we continue until my debugger pops up again. There it is, the debugger. So we type yes, and then we type continue, I guess. Do I have to? Let's just do the Linux viewer init again. I don't know, and then continue. And it still hits a breakpoint, and then we do again continue, and then we still have a validation error. So it stopped. Why? I really did not need this validation error here, but okay. It could be, of course, that it always happened. It just doesn't block anymore now. And I don't know about that. Wait, finish. Let's look for finish implementation. Nope. Well, default. No. To be close to where I clicked close. It's for some reason this is not even visible. Oh, here's the debugger. Damn it. Yep, I saw it. There. Oops, or not. On the window delete, and this is the finish implementation. And what happens? Task counter gate wait for 100 and done. Apparently. Entering. Yeah. Oh, we only entered it once. No, that's weird. But yeah, we did get here anyway. So it was a success. But I don't understand why it's entering it only once. It should be returning true. I mean, previously it was hanging. Means that counter equals 1 still, so it returns false. And if it returns false, it should call itself again, as far as I know. So it seems like it did not return false. I don't get it. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Maybe it's a better way, better to just, yeah, no, I would, there we are again, so I'm gonna do yes. Maybe I should just quit the debugger. Did I not call close? Apparently I didn't. Well, that's not helpful. Now I click close. Yes. Quit. I'm going to try quit. Yay, it did not hang. So, but now I really want to see that it re-entered. It's bloody not re-entering. What the hell, man? Oh, it did. No, haha. Very great. Yeah, especially while I was waiting on the debugger. So maybe this just shows also why I needed the debugger to see this problem. Because this thread is being blocked by starting up the debugger, which takes a long time, several seconds. And then in the meantime, finish implementation was called, which then did not run a task that was not running but waiting, and then it called this, and then that task that didn't run what was waited for forever. At least you would think that the last time the wait for is being called would show that it's on destruction. Destruction of something. Oh, there is another one here. Okay, now we're done. Is that what was remove? Yeah, I think so. So there was another call. So that was the last one. So this is the last one. So this one returns false, I guess, then. As a result of pipeline finishing. Yeah, that was a pipeline cache task that was still running. And now that thing is doing set state merge. So it's saved to disk. Doesn't look like it's finished at all yet. It's not. Really not getting this. It's not destructed. Oh, here it is. Finally, it is destructed. This is where it is destructed. This should be the point where the counter is. Okay, maybe this happens in 100 milliseconds. Yeah, I think so. So we call wait, so it's waiting for the counter to become 0 with a maximum wait time of 100 milliseconds. and during those 100 milliseconds, the pipeline cache destructs and decrements the counter. So then it returns true or false or whatever, and then we don't enter this loop anymore. So it looks like it worked. Yeah, definitely returned, because this is the same thread triple 0. Now continues below the loop. So it exited this function with true, I guess. Yeah. Great, great, great. And indeed, it was called a lot. Several times, I mean, every 100 milliseconds. So there's also a long time between this call and I mean, I think you just see the flute here because nobody's doing anything. Everyone was waiting for the debugger, and then it's doing this in 100 milliseconds. But the cache is still, the pipeline cache is still not finished. And then we call it again, and then it finishes finally, and then we don't call it again. One bug down, 1 million to go. Okay, now I'm gonna remove this patch again, I think. Git add minus p, the p of p soup. So that was my bug fix. Took me many hours. Now I also changed something in stateful task. Oops. Add yes. Oh, there is more. No, that is the other one. That is the debug thing. That the debugger is started, I mean. So git commit message whip. Now that's a question you can ask ChatGPT. I'm going to try that. I'm just curious what ChatGPT would answer to this question. Am I still logged in on ChatGPT? I don't think so. I have this page open though. Please tell me in detail what is a debugger and how to use it. Now, there is no way you would have gotten this much detail in the YouTube chat, Fatman. So there you are, ChatGPT for you. There's a limit on how much it can print, though. Not sure it was finished. But now, if it said anything that you still don't understand, you can ask a question specific about that. Let me read it quickly if I agree with the correctness, because it's very enthusiastic in giving answers, but sometimes they're just wrong. I wish I knew how to step out of a function. I'm not sure if DDB can do that. I'm gonna ask. Step out of a function. In addition to these basic features, many debuggers also provide more advanced functionality. Some debuggers allow you to view the call stack. There's a backtrace. It shows the sequence of function calls that led to the current point in execution. Other provides the ability to inspect the memory of the program, which can be useful for tracking down memory-related bugs. Debug is a breakpoint. Yeah, it's correct, I think. The only thing I more or less do not totally agree with is that this paragraph, debugging is an iterative progress. Now suddenly talking about debugging and not just about a debugger. So this gives me the feeling that it kind of says that you can debug a program, you can find any bug with a program, in a program with a debugger, and I disagree with that. I think that debug output is more important. The debugger is more for finding exactly what is going on. At the moment you do not understand what the problem is with debug output. And of course, then when you can reproduce the problem, I mean. So I would say step one, you can reproduce it. Just run the program and it happens. You run the program again, it happens again. And then secondly, you have already added a detailed debug output and you still have no clue what exactly is happening. Then you can step line by line through your program with the debugger to finally really understand what's going on. But that's so much detail that I wouldn't do that immediately. Then you would just get lost in the details. Can GDB step out of a function? I'll put quotes around it, not sure if it understands that. Wow, I learned something new. Out of the current function, return to the calling function. I must say I'm impressed with ChatGTP a lot more, since I used it for a few other questions than C++ questions. The C++ question that I asked in the beginning was, just difficult. It was a short program. The answer was a very short program, but it was a very expert level C++ stuff, and ChatGTP is more like Google. I think you should treat it like Google, not like an intelligent being. It gives you the answer from, as it were, Google, or from, you know, having read all of the internet in a what's it called, conversational manner, just as if it is talking to you, as if it is explaining it. But in the end, it's just, you know, Google output. So if you ask it write a program that nobody ever wrote before, solve a problem that nobody ever solved before, then it goes into errors, and it will give you an answer as if it solved it, but that the answer is nonsense, because it cannot think and it cannot solve problems, just like Google cannot. So yeah, I think one of the downsides of GPT is that it always assumes that its answer is correct. You know, it will always say something like, "Here is an example of how you might use finish," and it's, if you read that, it's like, yeah, you're gonna be like, okay, so this is how I use it, but then nonsense might still follow. Probably not in this case, but ChatGPT will never say "I'm not sure" or you know, or "I don't know." It will just always give an answer as if it knows, and that's a bit of a downside, I think. But yeah, the finish is definitely super interesting. I'm almost afraid to ask questions to ChatGPT that might insult it, or that might make me look stupid. But yeah, that's just because, you know, it gives you the feeling that it's actually intelligent and some stuff like that. But after having asked this intelligent question, there is absolutely no reason why I would not type in how long should I warm up my pea soup. Don't insult it. The answer is 5 minutes. It's so it's so detailed. It's so serious. Great. $74. That's pretty hot, I think. For safe for consumption, yeah, okay. But if it's from a can, you can eat it even cold. So. Okay, I'll ask it one question and then I go back to programming. Like this? No, it's degrees Celsius. 60 degrees is when bacteria start to die. Okay, 1, check. 2, check. 3 I'm working on. Well, I already have some command bars, but it's user code. I haven't done anything about memory barriers, unfortunately. I have random loops is done. Yeah, let's check. And well, I'm having a problem with that at the moment sometimes, but it's pretty much done. I try to keep it up to date very well. It's a brilliant answer, I must say. Yeah. There are also many libraries and engine frameworks out there that can help you with certain parts of the engine. But do not use the one of Carlo Wood, because it makes it even more complex to use. Oh no, it didn't say that. Well, this is also yeah, an answer to the question, what is a Vulkan engine? Gives you a head start on the more complex parts of the engine. Yeah, loads of things it did not mention, of course. It's just one page. Still not bad. Boys Bunny, the memory barriers are so difficult that I just didn't want to have to do anything to do with them yet. I postponed it. So, yeah. Might bite me some point. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty good. I just have to admit that it is pretty good at answering random questions. But okay, enough about ChatGPT. Just close it again. And Obscure said, I'm scared to lose my job due to AI. Yeah, no, don't. It's just, it's going to be a tool to to increase your productivity. You have to use AI to do your job. Never you're going to lose it. I mean, there is still plenty of room for, productivity increasement. I think that if you're following my channel, then you're absolutely smart enough to have a job, I think, and do use AI to be more productive than you would be without an AI. Now, maybe people that are so limited in their mental capacities that they cannot do any other job than stand at a do monotonous work and on next to what is it called? So pack things in a box and then close the box and tape it, stuff, and then the next box. Something repetitive, something on a what is it called? A word, English word. surveyor belt or something like that. I can imagine that those kinds of job will disappear. Well, should get another job, I think. But certain jobs will disappear. It's called a conveyor belt, yeah. But well, those kind of jobs are no fun. You want to be creative as a human. Conveyor, yeah. I guess I should go eat. Now I see the time. So I'm gonna... Yeah. Before I go heat up my pea soup, let's look one more time. If I just run it, I mean this texture is not being shown, but it's bad enough. But there are no validation errors like at the moment. So I'm wondering why. Wait a minute, if I run it in GDB, then it will stop at validation errors. So that I like that a little bit more, but I'm just lazy and it is actually slow. We have to wait until it starts running. But then now I know for sure that it did not run into any validation errors. So that it seems to work, and then if I patch this away, or add it again, no, it patches it away. That should not make any difference, because this is just a usage detector, and the result of patching this out is that it should print less debug output. But I just saw that everything went wrong. Oh, and now it doesn't. Well, I'm happy, but not convinced yet. Okay. So that seems to make indeed no difference whatsoever. But well, it did make a difference. Not during this stream, a bit ago. I mean, I had a problem and it happened a few times on a row, and then I changed that patch and then it was gone. And now suddenly it's no longer the case. Yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to keep it in for now. So now I think I have my usage detector in it a lot. Or not. I just removed it. What? Except this one. I want to keep it in. So now I have it. Yeah, now we have it. Okay, well, whatever. And if I just run like this a lot, then oh, and we hang again. Seriously? Oh no, the debugger is open. It's still in there. So I should remove that code, I suppose, because I think I fixed that one or not. What was the reason that I set a breakpoint here? That's because it might have swapped in the meantime. I think I want to be in the thread, this one, thread 3, and it is there. Okay. Now again, frame. I'll have to use a finish. I'm still not convinced that it is correct. No, I'm going to heat it up the way I always do. It's just a certain what is it called? Bit on my gasfornuis, and then 5 minutes stirring. Update missing descriptor sets. Okay, next. Bottom 0. It was or was not used. Next. Get set index hint. Schema source was no the case. Setting. Trying to find set index hint. Found it, and then we did descriptor set layout handle corresponds with. Then we get a declaration pointer of that thing, and then it does not have a binding. I hope. Skipped, not bound. Yeah, so I think that was the fix. So yeah, I can remove that. Oh no, we have that. No, we have that again. Let me just remove this, because kind of beyond that then. But yeah, one of the textures is not set. So even in this form, it's not working. But it's not crashing, we don't get validation errors anymore, and it's not hanging. So very slowly, very slowly, you get to the point where we have a working application again, with a single pipeline and a single characteristic. Very slowly, therefore. I think it's pretty reproducible now. It should be having it just a single pipeline factory, I should say. No race conditions should exist, really. Okay, well, nice, but yeah, next is then, I guess, getting that bottom texture to work again. I did make a certain change though that might have be of influence. I'm not sure, not 100% sure. Textures window. Bottom 1. I changed this into bottom 1. Well, it should be bottom 0. So who knows? Is that the reason? It's probably the reason, right? If this works, then I should make it work with bottom one as well, I think. This works. Haha. So that's that was why. But yeah, the real test is, I have to say that I also wanted to work with bottom one then. So why doesn't it? That's a good question. So if I use bottom one here. Then I have to look at somewhere I am saying use this texture for and the name of the texture is going to be, I mean, currently is apparently bottom 0, which only appears here. So that would be index 1 of this array. That array is used here, but that's general. So I guess this is this one. No, that's a debug name. Well, still. Textures. Running over the combined image sampler, get the path, fill it in. Okay, so we convert here to using M textures. Update image sampler, that looks like it, doesn't it? And it's using TI, which is, yeah, well, the wrong one then. TI depends on sys here and the number of combined image samplers. Not sure if that makes sense. And sys is loop_var, and loop_var is 0, and then depending on the timer. So we begin with 0, execute this in a timer, and we run it again, I guess, or not? Yeah, we run it again after incrementing loop_var with 1. So the next time we enter here is loop_var is 1 higher. Which means that pipeline is still 0 and sys is just 1 larger, and then loop_var is incremented again until it equals is that true? Well, I don't even use it. So here we have sys, and sys is now 1, 1 plus 1 in mod is 2. I think that's the reason then. That would be 1 and then 0. No, it should start with 0. It's strange. Look for 0, pipeline is 0, this is 0, it's not larger than 0. 0 plus 1 modulo 3 is 1. So choosing texture 1. Why? Anyway, this complex code, apparently pretty complex code, is just using the wrong index. So I think that if it is changes, I think TI is now, well, oops, I mean, yeah, well, so if TI is, I think it's set to, nah, that's too different. At least I'm certain about this one. So if in loop_var is larger than 0, then we got here second texture, and then we set TI, dial TI. Well, I think TI is too small, so just increment it. I did set it to bottom 1 again, right? Not sure. Ding ding, good-ding, good DLSL. Yep, it's bottom 1. Damn it. But okay, could have made a mistake anyway, so I don't know what it should be. Would have been nice if this just worked. Yeah, indeed. It is calling it with TIs 1 and 2. Sys changes as well, though. Code used to be correct for 2 pipelines. I don't know what a sys stands for. Never use abbreviations, kids. Sys. Combined image sampler. That's what it means. Oh, really? The combined image sampler. Oh, yeah, no, of course. That's just, I'm an idiot. That text is the text you have to use. It is sys that needs updating, changing. So what we do if I didn't print loop variables, I did not print loop variables, but it's still that. Well, I could use sys as well. So if sys was 0 or 1, so if sys equals 1, then now we want it to be 2 actually. Sys equals 2. Just, you know, so 0 is top, 1 is bottom 0, and 2 is bottom 1. So since I changed, I'm not using bottom 0 anymore, I'm using bottom 1. So I should use 2 instead of 1. Now it's going to work, I know it. And then I can eat soup, yay. Yay, it works. Well, ain't that cool? So that means that we can promote to, well, let's keep this in. We can promote to 2 pipelines, I think. This is just working now. Number of pipelines. Actually, maybe I should go to using two characteristics first. Or use a range. I'm not sure how this used to work. Let's try this first. It's more difficult though, because there's all kinds of arrays conditions apparently. Crash! Okay. Goodbye, guys.